welcome everybody. This is the Fan Cave Podcast. I'm your host, Joe. I got my man Ben with me.
Yes, sir.
And I got two wonderful ladies here. I got my woman, Libby, and I got my woman, Brenley. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. If you haven't seen our other episodes, go back, check them out. Again, Joe Garcia. I'm an entrepreneur, a former student athlete. Love what I do, absolutely love what I do. I got my co-host, again, side by side. I got my man, Ben, here.
My name is Ben Laycock. I am the director of Fan Inc. We're the sponsor of this awesome, amazing podcast. This is my second episode, but this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a really good one.
I'm super excited about this one because, we got some wonderful ladies here that we're going to introduce here in a second. But first, we got to kind of get caught up real quick on our socials. Let's go ahead and shout that out real quick.
Yeah, so this podcast will be streamed on YouTube and Spotify. So go check that out. Follow us on there. And then our main social media accounts, at MyFanInc on Instagram and TikTok. Tons of cool content. We have new stuff we're posting there every day. We're featuring our amazing athletes and ambassadors there. So go check us out.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching those like top stories and stuff.
Yes.
And it's just good content.
Yeah, it's very good content.
But and this is why we're doing this podcast, because this podcast is designed to bring the fans and the athletes together. And I say athletes, I mean our cheerleaders. Our cheerleaders, I'm telling y'all, I am absolutely amazed at the stuff y'all do. Even when I was on the field watching y'all do this stuff, I was like, I don't know how in the world I can do this. But this podcast this is a cheerleader's life, episode number 3, all right? And I have some lovely lady guests here that are going to explain and break down this wonderful world. I'll start off with Brenley first, okay?
Hi, I'm Brenley Herrera. I'm a junior at Texas Tech. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm majoring in public relations.
Public relations. So from Funky Town and public relations.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Super fun.
Awesome. All right. And now I have our real special guest right here, right? Like, this is Libby. And Libby, I'm hearing really good stuff. I got my girl back here telling me all these amazing stories about you. That's all she always says is Libby is Libby. Like,
she's one of our Fan Inc. ambassadors.
Okay.
She's our one and only cheerleader Fan Inc. ambassador. So awesome stuff.
Hi, I'm Libby Ragsdale. I'm from Decatur, Texas, and I'm a sophomore on the all-girl cheer team, and I'm on the pre-law track, majoring in psychology and minoring in legal studies.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty awesome though. But no, this, like I said, we have these two wonderful ladies that's going to open up this show. We're going to jump and dive right into, just like I said, a cheerleader's life. I know what it takes to be a student athlete as far as sports and collegiate, going to college, but there's a whole new realm when it comes to cheerleading. Yep. And that's why I'm just super pumped and excited about this, because I think y'all actually work harder than us student athletes. I'm an ex-former student athlete. Us student athletes. So we will definitely hop into that. But, real quick, let's go ahead and get into that ad sponsor real quick on our app.
Yeah, so the Fan Inc. app is live and able to be downloaded on the iOS or Android platforms. We've had an awesome launch. We had a press release that just got put out there yesterday. Business Wire picked it up, and a couple other NIL type publications picked it up. So exciting stuff. Go download it. Fan Inc. It's amazing.
Fan Inc.
Yep.
Remember, on y'all's phones, y'all just go down to y'all's specific either iPhone or Android.
Right. Yep. Search for Fan Inc.
Fan Inc.
Download it. It's connecting fans with student athletes through NIL. Awesome platform. That's just taken off. I mean, we just launched about 3 weeks ago. So.
I like it. Like I said, what we're doing here is we're making it simple. We're keeping it simple when it comes to NIL and athletes.
Yep.
So go check that app out. So let's get into this, right? And I've just been I've been so excited this whole week trying to figure out what we're going to talk about, how we're going to discuss this, because I say it like this, right? I'm very observant whenever it comes to, when I was on the field, either it be high school, either it be college. I loved going to different stadiums. And then I'd always see, of course, our fans that traveled with us. And then who was there with us? Right. Our cheerleaders. And I'm just like, that's dedication. Like, these girls probably at the time drove. They didn't fly or anything. So think about, I was like, they had to drive to in Iowa State, which is in Iowa, and I'm like, and then I don't know if they like just get on the bus and head back. Like, it is absolutely crazy. Like when you start really breaking down the life of a cheerleader, right? And so you do. And like I said, so tell me like a little story. Like, have y'all been to some like really cool stadiums, or how was just like that little experience? Nothing too crazy, because we're gonna dive down really deep into a cheerleader's life. I'll start with you, Brenley. Okay?
Yeah, I think my most favorite place that I went to was Liberty Bowl my freshman year in Memphis. And we got to fly this one, actually, because it was the bowl game, so it was very special. And just the fans and the crowd there was just amazing. It was such a cool experience just to be at that bowl game. We hadn't been to one in I don't know how many years, so it was like the first one we had in a while. And yeah, it was a great experience. So that's like one of my favorite things.
So kind of going back on what you said, so is y'all's travel usually not by airplane?
No, not usually. That one's just special because it is a bowl
Right.
game, but for normal like conference games, we're pretty much driving on a bus, packed with everyone, packed with cheer and pom.
See?
And like our mascots too, like everyone
yeah.
is on there on one little bus, but it's really fun. It's great bonding time, and you get to really know like the rest of the Spirit program, which is nice.
Nice.
So like Libby, talk about this a little bit. She said y'all have to like, do y'all work out together? Or do y'all like bond a little bit, or do you just ride together? I'm assuming. Like I said, we're going to dive down into deep on this, but like, talk to me about that just a little bit.
So actually, we don't get to work out together or practice together or anything like that. There's a lot of misconception. What we do is totally two separate things. Neither one harder than the other. She dances. I always explain it like this: she dances and I do flips.
Okay.
I could never do what she does. They're
And
amazing.
I could never do what she does either.
Yeah. So explain the teams that y'all are on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go first.
Yeah.
So all-girl cheer, within the cheerleading program at Texas Tech, we have two squads. We have co-ed and all-girl. Co-ed consisting of 32 couplets, one male, one female, that stunt together, and all-girl consisting this year of 28 females that we group stunt together. We all do the same difficulty level of tumbling, and we both compete now at NCAA Daytona Nationals.
Oh, nice.
See, and like I said, you see how I just kind of clumped it all together?
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah, I think there's 3 separate teams,
Yeah.
right, associated with cheer, so which is crazy. Are you on the other?
Yeah, so I'm in the Texas Tech Pom Squad, so
Okay.
we are the dancers at Tech. So we don't do stunts, we'll do flips, but it's not the same.
Right.
It's more dance related. But yeah, we're on the sidelines dancing, and we also compete at UDA, our own dance competition in January.
Nice. Yep.
See, who knew that? Like, who knew that? Y'all know y'all didn't know that, because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy.
And this is why I love doing these podcasts, is because we're opening the realm to individuals like myself that we see y'all, but we don't understand what y'all really do.
Right.
And that's why it's nice to have an all cheer, correct?
All-girl cheer.
All-girl cheer,
Yes.
and then Pom Squad. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So we are definitely going to really dive down deep into that, all right?
Yep.
So let's go here. So real quick, ladies, and I'm going to start off with you, Libby, okay? I remember when I grew up, my mom, she was a big-time sports fan. She just loved sports. So I watched golf, tennis,
Yeah, everything.
every single sport you can think
If
of.
it was
okay?
on, you were watching it,
So
right?
if it was, yes, that's literally how it was,
That's how
right?
it was.
So tell me, how did you kind of get into cheering?
This is a fun one.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
So I started at a very young age. I have older sisters. So I started by watching my oldest sister do gymnastics. And pretty much from the time I started taking my first steps, I wanted to be tumbling how she was. So it started in gymnastics, and then I actually had a coach when I was 8 years old within the gymnastics program that I was affiliated with at the time reach out to me about this thing that I had never heard of and my mom had never heard of called All-Star Cheerleading.
Okay.
I was like, what is that, Mom? I've never seen it. I've never heard of it, but I want to try it. And I went to a practice, and it has had me on lockdown ever since.
Interesting.
So, but a lot like you, I grew up watching every different kind of sport. My father was a collegiate football player.
Oh,
I played
nice.
softball all the way until my senior year of high school, volleyball, track, powerlifting, just all a plethora of different sports. And the one that has had me from the beginning and still has me at 19 years old and as a sophomore in college is all-star cheerleading.
All-star cheer. You say, and what did she say? She said something, well, how old were you? Like, do you remember the age when you kind of jumped into the cheerleading?
Yes, so I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
8 years
Yes.
old, wow. And then gymnastics starting at like 4?
4, yes.
Man.
I was in gymnastics for a total of 4 years.
I'm trying to think on like when I started. 8 is really young, like
Very
Yeah.
young.
very young.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when you say like, and help me out here, stunt. You said this word stunt, right?
Yeah.
What is stunting? Like, explain that to me, because you got to talk to me. I told them
For
the
sure,
other
for
podcast. You got to talk to me like I'm a golden retriever or a fifth grader. So
I got you.
there you go. Yeah, you got to kind of educate me a little bit.
So stunting for the two squads looks really different. As an all-girl cheerleader, what it consists of is 3 bases, a main base, a side base, and a back spot, which is what I do,
Okay.
and a flyer. And all of them are female. And for co-ed, it consists of 1 boy and 1 girl, 1 top girl flying. And then we have these things called pyramids. You'll see them a lot on game day. You'll see them a lot in competition. We pretty much don't do anything without doing a pyramid.
Okay.
And
Seems
it's-
dangerous.
Right.
Seems very dangerous. A
And
human
it's-
pyramid.
Yes.
At any, yeah, I
And
know.
it is so funny to me because I think when I say the word pyramid and you think of humans doing it, you think of that old school, like, the girls on their knees
yeah.
and like in the level like tiers. Not at all what I'm talking about. Not even close.
It's so funny you say that because I immediately thought of like that movie
You're like,
Bring It On when
yep.
they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so not what this looks like. You have what's called a shoulder.
Okay.
So your bottom layer. And then you have a mid layer. And then you have what's called your top, your top girl, right?
Okay.
And then you have a whole separate group that throws the top girl to the top layer of the 3-tier pyramid. And we do all kinds of entries, spinning, flipping, whatever. And we do all kinds of different dismounts. Pretty much everything you can think of to get down from that thing, we do it.
It's insane.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot
It's
of
insane.
trust.
I'm at a loss
It's
of
a
words
ton
right
of
now because
trust.
it's
Yeah.
A
just
ton of trust,
danger.
right?
That's all I saw is danger.
Well, yeah, a ton of trust though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't want someone at the very top that's beefing with the person on the bottom. You know what I mean? It's not gonna go well. That's not gonna go well.
Well, okay. Well, and so awesome story because we're gonna come back to that because we're on the cheerleading side, stunting, right?
Right.
Brenley.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
So you heard her story. Talk to us about your story, all right? Again, like I told you, all my life, my mom made me watch all these sports, all these episodes, and next thing you know, I got into like athletics around like 8 and 9. So, what was your journey?
Yeah, so mine is very similar. I actually started dancing when I was 2. I was kind of born into a studio. My mom, her best friend throughout middle school, started a dance studio, and basically when I could walk, I was put into classes and just kind of hoped that I liked it.
Yeah.
And I kind of got to a point, I think I was 7, I was doing t-ball. And my dad was like, okay, you're either going to go and do softball or you're going to dance because we're not going to pay for both of them.
Yeah.
So you have to choose one. And I love dance, and so I've been doing it ever since, and it's been my entire life, and it will continue to be my entire life after college. So yeah.
So tell me, you said dance, right? So in my head, of course, I'm thinking hip hop, like
Oh, yeah.
grooving, is that
Oh yeah,
dance?
it's so much.
So much.
It's
They
so
do it
much.
all.
I do it, yeah. So
Okay.
I grew up doing hip hop,
Okay.
ballet. There's jazz, contemporary, tap, everything you can think of. But what we do on Pom is more like hip hop based. We do
Okay.
a lot of hip hop at game days, a lot of Pom dances, but we compete in jazz and Pom. So it's kind of
Yeah.
hard.
You know,
to explain.
And no, it's not, and this is why we're here, right? To explain it to the people like myself that just does not know. But now I do. I'm actually feeling like now I'm like when someone asks me about cheerleading, I'm like, did you know?
Did you know
Did
this?
you know?
Oh, I
that
bet you
this is
did.
a pyramid, like I am gonna know. And
I
did
love
you
it.
know that Pom they're doing, was it jazz dancing, hip hop?
Yep.
All of it.
All of that. So,
crazy.
No, ladies, this is exactly why we're doing this podcast, because it's amazing to have someone that does not know, and we're educating the millions out there that do not know, and we can kind of go from there, all right? So, and you talked about it. You had a lot of sisters that kind of inspired you to be a cheerleader. Is that correct? You know, do you have any older sisters? Are they younger? Are they all still in cheerleading?
Older, and my oldest sister actually stuck more with softball.
Okay.
And got away from the gymnastics. My parents always tell me once I got to the same level that she was on, because we're 11 years apart. And so there was a point where we were doing the same skills, and she was like, yeah, I'm done. I just want to watch her. So
it's easier.
I'm out.
It's easier.
And that's kind of when I switched over to cheerleading, and she took the softball route, and I continued in both all throughout high school. And then it wasn't until my junior year that I really made that call. I was like, hey, Mom and Dad, like, I want to cheer in college. Yeah. And it can get me everything as far as the finances and the NIL, as we're finding out now that softball can do. I can do it cheering, and that's where my heart's at. So
definitely going to talk about that, because that NIL stuff is actually opening the doors to not only athletes, but actually cheerleaders and other sports that just did not have that access. So
for sure.
You know, you said 2 years old. What were you doing at 2? Were you doing at 2?
No.
Because it was not dancing and it was not doing anything functional.
I could barely walk.
Yeah.
I think I could dance before I could walk, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, 2 years old. That's crazy.
So you said your mother, is that correct?
Yeah.
She kind of was the one that got you into the dancing?
Yeah, so I also had an older sister. She's 7 years older than me. So she was in it before me. She continued it through high school, but she didn't do it through college. But we did it together. We never danced together, which kind of sucked, but I always looked up to her at the studio. So
that's really good. Talk to me. Do you have I know y'all are just getting into college at Tech. Do y'all have anything super memorable? Like, did y'all's high schools go to a state game or make it far deep into the playoffs? Or I'll start with you, Libby, first.
On not the cheerleading side, with the softball side, yes, we made it to playoffs 2 years in a row at Decatur. And with cheer, there's just so many memorable things. I was lucky enough to cheer for a really tight-knit football team and a really small-town community, and every game was like a party and a family reunion all at the same time. Okay. So I have thousands of memories, but definitely the ones that stick out most are wearing the double T.
So how were you able to go from, cheerleading and playing softball at the same time, like simultaneously?
I think it was just realizing balance and really learning time management as a young age. And I'm not credit to myself, because I just didn't have a choice. Right. And I was blessed with really good coaches who held me accountable of like, this is when you can divvy up your time and give it to these different things. But I'm also one of those people that's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I struggled with doing 2 at the same time, because I was like, I'm torn. I want to give everything to this and everything to that. So that's why I waited so long to make that decision of, hey, Mom and Dad, and hey, everybody else, this is what I'm pursuing in college. Right. So it wasn't until then that I was able to really nail down into cheer.
Nice. Has that helped a little bit into coming into college, that flexibility you had to have then to come in here and have that flexibility into the collegiate realm?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what I would be doing without it. I don't know how I would get through my day-to-day without learning time management when I did. I feel like that's a crucial part to what we do every day.
Very good. And we're going to talk about y'all's schedule here in a second, so this is going to be good. What about you? So, any memorable, amazing things, playoff runs? Because, like I said, you just got to college, so we're going to talk about college here in a second as well.
So, actually, 2 years ago, the Pom Squad made the world national team, the ICU World Championships, and we actually ended up winning gold medals, and that was insane. We were not only representing Tech, but we were representing the USA.
Right.
Yes.
So it was just an unbelievable experience to even be picked to do that, and to just wear the double T, but also the American flag, and it was such an honor. So that's one of my favorite experiences that I've had at Tech and also on Pom.
So how does that journey happen? Because again, to us, it's you won gold representing USA, but how do you go from Tech? Do you have to like go to another competition and then kind of take levels up and represent? And how does that go?
Actually, we had to apply for it.
Okay.
So you're going against a bunch of other teams who also applied for it, and we actually got picked to do it that year. And it was one of my coach's dreams. We've tried out multiple years, and it was the first year that we got picked to do it. So it was very special.
Nice. See, tell me you knew that.
No, I didn't. I do know though. Another question I have is I've watched the Netflix show Cheer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and we at Fan Inc. we're onboarding athletes every day, and some of those are cheerleaders, male and female, and I get to work closely with them and see all the accolades and everything, and just all of the decoratedness of some of these athletes who are cheerleaders. And what's that experience like, and kind of what makes people attracted from like the Navarros to come to Tech and all that? Can one of y'all talk about that?
So this year we actually have a large amount of people from places like Navarro and Trinity Valley, which you see in the show Netflix Cheer.
Yep.
It's a docu-series, and I tell people all of the time, it is so surreal to go into practice every day and be cheering alongside with the people that I grew up looking up to.
Right.
That is crazy to me. Like that
crazy.
is wild
That
to
is
me.
wild.
And I love learning from them. I get to learn from these decorated people, these decorated athletes every day. Like that
awesome.
is so cool. And I think what draws them to Tech most is one, we do have a very decorated spirit program all around,
Right,
with
right.
cheer, all girl, co-ed,
Yep.
and pom, and even our mascots are national
Yeah,
champions.
I was going to say national
So,
championship
yeah,
everywhere
I think-
on that side.
Yeah, I think that's what draws them a lot to it. And as far as Navarro and TVCC relating to Tech, we also compete at that high level.
Right.
So we compete in the advanced division and
Okay.
everything that we do, just as Navarro and TVCC do.
Right.
So I think that's mainly what draws them here, and then what keeps them here is the atmosphere, the community,
Right.
and just the people that we're surrounded by on a daily basis. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
And we talked about this, like, and that was like really cool that you knew about that Netflix show, like,
Yeah.
because it's a different realm, and
Right.
a great question that I'm sure a lot of people have asked. So, talk to me. We'll go with you, Brenley, right? I say that this podcast is kind of like a cheerleader's life, right? So tell me a day in the life of.
I might have to go through the week.
Well, you know what? Because I actually was like doing some research a little bit, and I come to find out that y'all do like a vigorous get your hair done, nails done. Like it's like a lot of things that happen throughout the week. So I was gonna try to think. Hopefully, you were gonna stay a week, not just a day. But yes.
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead and
it's a week,
explain
baby.
that.
It's a week. So pom practices. So we have like our actual like at our studio practices Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. And then we have early morning workouts Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this is not even including a football game that we might have on Thursday or Friday or Saturday.
Oh my goodness.
And not even including basketball season when we do women's basketball games and men's basketball games and football at the same time. But yeah, like getting spray tans, getting your lashes done, your nails done, you have to do that early in the week, like spray tans on Thursday, so you're ready by Saturday, and you have to fit that in your schedule also with like school and your study hall hours. So it's just a long,
I'm exhausted.
Let's digest this, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
sure
fine.
she said
That's
Sunday through Thursday. This
Yes.
is just practice,
Right.
right?
just practice.
Just practice. That doesn't include the games. Now, do y'all have like a A-B team, like basically splitting up the duties, or it's everybody that goes
It's
every
everyone.
game?
Everyone goes to every game, other than like away games.
Okay.
So West Virginia this weekend, we only have about 6 girls going,
Okay.
and then the rest of us are home. But every single home game, it's full team, even basketball. I mean, you split the halves, so like you'll have Pom 1 do the first half, and then Pom 2 will do second half. But then we come all together and we'll do a performance all together.
Okay.
So, but everyone is there. There's never a game that you're not there, other than for like we also do volleyball games.
Yep.
And that's like the only games that will split up and you won't have to do full team for. But
and so to keep elaborating, you're not including schoolwork.
no,
And you're
your
still
classes.
in your classes.
Yeah,
and
or
we're
sleep.
still-
Or naps.
I
have to
forgot
get the
to add
naps
that
in
one
there.
little
Or
thing,
eating,
right? That
you know.
More food.
Snacks.
Why?
Dinner.
Why do we need to sleep? Like,
The
why do we-
daily necessary things that sustain life.
Yeah.
And okay, so and then you said nails, hair, spray tan, everything like that.
Yeah, for game day. Yeah.
And this is just Pom Squad, right?
Yeah.
Libby, let's move over here because we're gonna combine a little bit. We're gonna see how these mesh and gel together.
It's actually a lot alike. So this week, for example, I'll give you a look-see into this week.
Yes.
So what it looks like is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have 6 a.m. weights. Where we go in with our strength trainer and we get the opportunity to lift and get stronger, and that's one of my favorite things that we do at Tech. I know some cheer programs do and don't do that, but anyways, so then that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is 6 a.m. practice, where we meet, all girl comes in, we practice at the USA, the basketball gym here at Tech, and we have practice from 6 a.m. to 8:30. And then we go about our day after our mornings are done with cheer, and we go to class. And just like Brenley said, in football season, you have that where you've got to get sprayed early in the week. You got to get your tan, right? And then your nails, your hair, your lashes.
There you go.
All of the things. At some point in the week, along with your study schedule, you got to eat, you got to sleep, these certain things you have to do, not even counting appearances, which is something that we do, where we'll show up at elementary schools. I know Brenley has a preschool appearance tomorrow where you're in uniform, like hanging out with the kids. That's something that we do. And like she said, volleyball, soccer, women's basketball, men's basketball, football. That's the fall for us.
I gotta bow down
That's
to
a
y'all because that is a dedication. And like
Yes.
I said, like when I was like playing it off in my head as far as how dedicated y'all have to be. And we as fans and as student athletes, like we don't see that. Like all we see is y'all just cheer. But when you really dive down deep into that. So like I said, this weekend, West Virginia, right? Are y'all, what time do y'all leave? Do y'all bus or do y'all fly on like? So I'll have Brenley. Yeah, go ahead, Brenley.
I know that our squad leaves tomorrow pretty early, but I think that they're flying to this one. I think there's a limit to like how far you can drive for some games.
For sure.
I don't know. Don't hold me against that. But I'm pretty sure that they're flying, but it's pretty early. But we also like when we get to travel to those things, we get to like have a lot of downtime, and I know our coach likes to like let it be almost like a vacation where you like get to see the area and the town, and you get to like create experiences and kind of also enjoy the moment. So they're kind of getting there early tomorrow to have some downtime. So.
And I'm assuming, do y'all like coordinate or like is there, like when do y'all leave? Do y'all leave the same time or is it how's that work?
Yeah. So every stadium in the country is different.
Okay.
Not every stadium is gonna allow how many of our Pom girls are there?
24.
All 24 of Pom, 28 of all girl, and 32 of co-ed, right? So there's different rules and regulations. And West Virginia in particular is only allowing Pom. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is cool. Right. And then I know I just got word today I'll be traveling to Baylor.
Okay.
So, and then Brenley's travel games will look different. And that's the only ones, like she was saying earlier, where you'll see different ones of us and we'll kind of be divvied up is only because of those rules and regulations. Of course, if we could take all of us and go do that bonding experience and cheer on the football team together, oh my gosh.
That would be amazing.
That would be a dream. But it's just not how it works out. So our travel looks different every year.
There we go. And like I said, my mind's just blown because I knew that this was going to be this, the amount of information that we were about to just get from these ladies was just going to be crazy. But let's take a break real quick. So let's hop in. Let's talk about our socials again. You said Instagram and TikTok, right?
Yeah, so Instagram, TikTok, @MyFanInc. Tons of cool content. We're posting about what our Fan Inc. solution can do for college athletes and how it connects fans to college athletes. And also we're highlighting our ambassadors. We just got a bunch of cool content. Go follow us there. Go download the app. It's in app stores today. It's live, so go download it.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. Well, ladies, okay, and this is what we're kind of doing on this podcast, okay? I call it story time. And my story times, I have lots of stories. I don't know why. I have tons of them.
Here we
this
go.
one is,
Here we go.
I know.
Oh, I'm excited.
Ben has heard a couple more stories.
Yeah, here we go.
So this one is a cool story, but then it's not cool. And this is why I say, like, getting into the cheerleading realm, I definitely feel even more like worse now that they've explained how demanding this is.
Right.
So my senior year, I'm playing against Oklahoma State. I catch this 60-yard pass, interception. I run it back. The crowd's going wild. Tech's nuts. I get tackled, right? I get tackled in the end zone by my team, and we take out a cheerleader. I feel terrible. Because not only do I feel terrible for her, because it was just not like she was just there and it happened just we all fell. They called the playback. So I didn't even score.
No.
So I didn't even score. So
it's not even worth it.
Not even worth it, right?
Yeah.
So this girl just got hurt off a play that wasn't even live, right? And it just absolutely, I have the picture. I'll show you, right?
Yeah.
It is one of the coolest plays, I believe. We'll throw this picture up on how cool the play was.
But it got called back.
That's a fire picture.
It got
was she okay? Like, did you ever, like...
Yes, I actually talked to her.
Okay.
I actually apologized.
Nice.
And I was just like, she did. She messed her knee up. I just felt terrible.
Oh, man.
And I know. So I said, I hate telling that story, but I was like, that's the only cheerleading story I have.
Wow.
It's not good, but because now that I see the dedication and the time, I just felt terrible. And it wasn't even for anything. So, just like I said, but do y'all actually, and I'll start with you, Libby, do y'all have an embarrassing or funny moment that you were doing a tumble and you ate some dirt and you just took a big bite of grass or something?
Last week.
Every day.
I'm not even kidding. I have ate it so many times that it wouldn't even be interesting for me to tell you that. So, one of the most embarrassing ones I can think of, we'll go back to my early days of all-star cheerleading.
All right.
And we have this tradition in the competitive cheer industry where when you're at nationals, and it's the very end of the competition, you're about to see who won, right? It's all this suspense and emotion built up into one moment. Like your whole season comes down to this national championship, right?
Yep.
So the last two teams are in the middle of the floor. They go down from 5th place all the way to second, right? And the runner-up and the champion are together.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I was certain that my team had it.
No.
I had seen the score sheets, and I was young. I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. And I was like, man, we got it in the bag. We hit 0 2 days in a row, which means 0 deductions, perfect routine. And they also have this kind of etiquette that everybody knows about, where you wait to celebrate until they call the second place team, right? And then they say the first place team. Well, this competition this year, for some reason, was different. They were just going to say the first place team. So it was us two teams in the middle of the floor, circled up, and they were like, and in first place is... And, I went crazy. I started jumping up out of the circle. I went wild. I thought we had it. I thought it was us. They said the other team's names. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, I knew that.
Right, yeah. So that one has to take the cake.
You wouldn't happen to have a recording of that, would you?
Oh,
If I do, you're not going to see it.
It's gone.
It's
I bet you were you're probably a little more humbled after that, though, right? It's a learning lesson.
Every competition after that, I was the last one to stand up and celebrate. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Nope.
I learned my
I'm
lesson.
Want to make sure it's official. I want to make sure it's official.
Brenley, what about you? Any embarrassing or funny moments that have happened ever? Like I said, I'm sure something has
Oh,
happened.
yeah. Well, football games, there's cameras everywhere.
Everywhere.
You're on TV. I don't have anything specific for me, but I know, when we're watching and there's plays happening that are just crazy, sometimes you just want to react. And some of the pictures we get of our faces are insane. So sometimes we have to watch out that we're not because there's been times where girls are freaking out and then they get a hilarious picture and our coach is like, okay, gotta calm down just a little bit. But those are the best moments because it's just so genuine because you're actually, you're there and you're watching and you're supporting.
Right.
And obviously we have our game day face on, but sometimes when we get a touchdown, especially I just think Iowa State, my freshman year with the 62-yard field goal to get us to the bowl game, I remember going absolutely crazy, and we were just jumping and just going insane. It just wasn't game day etiquette at all. But it was just, we didn't care in that moment. We were just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And we weren't even thinking about what we were going to look like on camera.
Hearts in the game.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And I feel like sometimes that just happens, right?
Well,
Because
yeah.
like, what's that one meme that I think one of my friends just went viral on, like a face he had, and I was just like, you got to be careful with all these
Oh,
different
yeah.
angles.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when you don't do good.
Yeah.
They love
Especially
to catch
at-
the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
They love to catch the cheerleaders when they
Yep.
lose, and then they're
Yeah.
sad, and then you become a meme.
Or
And that's
fans
just-
crying in the stands. Like,
Yes.
you got to hold back your tears even if
And then you're on Twitter,
even
and you're
if
like,
hurt.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. The memes will come out after
Yes.
that, for sure.
So let's talk about this. What's the biggest misconception? And I know that's like a very specific, but it could be broad.
I love this question.
A misconception on cheerleading, right? Because again, I told y'all, like, without y'all like, educating me, I just literally thought y'all were just there game day and that's it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Libby, I'll start with you.
So I think there's a lot of misconceptions with competitive cheerleading, especially in today's society. My least favorite misconception is that people think that it's just not innovating like every other sport.
Right.
Right? We have rules even today being made in baseball that are completely new. And same in football. We see new things developing with these sports every day. And I think people just think, oh, cheerleading's the same as it was in the 1960s. And
Right.
I'm like, no. It's actually
Human pyramids,
not.
back to the human
No.
pyramids,
Right. I'm
man.
like, actually, it's completely different. And then another is like exactly what you said. And it's just people, they don't know. Like, you can't even be upset about it because it's just now getting to that point where it's televised. It's all over social media. It's on Netflix. It's streaming on these different things,
Yep.
right? So you can't even be upset about it. But I think a lot of the time when I hear people think, well, oh, you just do game day, right?
Oh.
Joe.
Do not do
Joe.
that. Okay. I did that.
Yeah. It's not.
Do not do that.
I'm like, actually, I worry about everyone else's sport, and then I worry about what we do,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Our skill, our, the fact that we're representing Texas Tech,
Yeah.
a huge world-renowned spirit program.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
So,
What about you, Brenley?
My thing is, I don't think people realize the amount of work that goes into our own competitions as well. It is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And Libby kind of brought it up, like being in the weight room. Like, yes, we're in the weight room for game day, maybe, stamina purpose, but we're getting strong for our routines. I mean, these are 2-minute hardcore routines that we're doing, and I think people, what we do on the sidelines and what we do for game day dances is nothing compared to like what we're putting on the stage in January, and people just don't know that. It's just not something that is broadcasted a lot, especially in like the collegiate realm, especially because like we aren't considered athletes at the school. We are a spirit program, and there are some schools where Pom is considered athletics, which we are very great. Like, we love where we are. We would rather be a spirit program than be under athletics because we wouldn't be able to travel and other things. There's a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do.
there's a lot of factors to that.
Yes. So where we are is great.
Absolutely.
But I just feel like people don't realize the hours. I mean, Pom, we are here all of Christmas. All of December we are here, and we have 3-a-day practices, 8-hour practices. We're here when no one else is here. Everyone's gone off campus, and we are working hard in our own craft and all sorts of things. So people don't realize that we do that too, while also showing up for other teams and showing up for our school and the appearances and other things. So
You
it's a lot.
see that dedication? This is why they're athletes now. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
pound for pound, hands
For
down.
sure.
So, ladies, I do, and this is going to be this is actually a personal question. I just thought about this just right now. So, I own a company, and I have ladies, and I do, being a former athlete, I kind of try to be that coach for my ladies. How does that fit with working with all females? How does that camaraderie, teamwork, effort, just like you were saying, like, we come together and, we're working out to look good, and we're trying to, be a team and gel together. Libby, I'll start with you because you said the same thing, right? You care about the field, but you also care about your team as well. And
Absolutely.
I picked that up as well. So talk about that a little bit. How has cheerleading built that camaraderie, teamwork, that you developed talk about a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So just like Brenley said, I mean, not only are we at all of these other sporting events, but we're getting ready for our competition, which actually is in April. And the biggest thing, we always say in cheerleading, if you don't have that team chemistry, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You're just not.
Same for
Right.
both.
Sure.
Yep.
You're just not. If you don't have that bond behind the scenes, you're just not. And I think we spend so much time together, just like Brenley was saying, like, we spend holidays together, y'all.
Yep.
Like,
Right.
we spend a wild amount of time with each other to the point where I don't really even look at them as teammates now. Those are my family members.
There you go.
Yeah.
They're family. And while I'm at Tech, away from my family, the first people that I'm going to call when I'm in need of something, my coaches and my teammates.
There you go.
For sure.
And I think that shows why Texas Tech is so successful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In all of their programs.
Absolutely.
It's that bonding that has to happen.
And
you
they
know.
encourage it.
Yes.
They encourage it. It's
Right.
not just like, okay, here y'all go into practice. No, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, we do specific things called team bonding.
Yep.
Ah,
And then
nice.
there's that time when we're traveling, those appearances where we're up at 7 a.m., full game day, hair and makeup at an elementary school. And
Yeah.
we're like, oh my gosh, let's do this. Okay, we're ready. And like, it's just a bonding moment. You know, everyone's kind of in the same position regardless of year classification. So.
So, like in Brittany, I'll ask you, when you keep saying bonding, does that like negate drama that can happen within just team effort? I mean, because we, like I said, defense, offense, drama, right? But when we got onto the field together, we were a team and we did well. So, like, is there any drama, or does that help negate like the team bonding, the working out together, everything like that?
Yeah, it definitely negates it a lot. I mean, you show up and you have to fight for each other and you have to support each other. You're not going to be successful if something's off and you're not communicating. That's like the biggest thing. Like, you're on the field and you're communicating with each other, and you have to have a love for what you're doing, and you have to have a love for the team you're cheering on, the school, but you also have to have a love for each other, and you're not going to be successful if, you know, that love's not there. And that's why, like, the bonding is so important, and just getting to know, you know, who you're next to, and like the new, you know, freshmen on the team, like getting to know them, making sure that they feel welcomed and they feel important and needed, and just making sure like everyone has a role on the team and you're important wherever you are, no matter what you do. And yeah.
This is so important, because I say this to my staff as well, and I tell them, I say, you know, we're only as strong as our weakest link.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved everything y'all said, because I might steal a little bit back and take it with me a little bit, okay? Yeah. So, you know, ladies, I have like a ton of questions still that we didn't even touch. Right. And it's okay, because I do know in the future we're going to be doing more podcasts.
Let's come back.
We're going to do more things, okay? So we kind of wrap it up, though, because you know, I got my people's in the back like slapping me in the head. You couldn't see that, saying, hey, we got to wrap this up. So, you know, again, you know, this podcast is a day in the life, like a cheerleader's life, right? And I say cheerleaders, I can say a Pom Squad. Is that what you're called, Pom Squad? Or do I say
we're the Pom Squad?
The Pom Squad, okay. A Pom Squad's life, right? And how we are able to understand and see the dedication that y'all do. I am absolutely like mind blown, because y'all do work out more than our current college athletes, and I'll tell you that for a fact that y'all do. So again, man, Ben, I do appreciate your help.
For sure.
Let's run through their socials. I want to give them a shout out.
Perfect.
On their socials. Again, go ahead and throw in too as well. Libby is our ambassador for Fan Inc.
Yeah, Libby's an ambassador for Fan Inc. And I just wanted to kind of highlight one more thing before we wrap this up. The whole NIL thing, right, with cheerleaders. And we've seen a huge amount of success with having an outlet for these cheerleaders through Fan Inc. It's been so cool to like onboard them, and these athletes have so much presence on social media, and they have so many fans out there. So this is a really good opportunity. We're excited. And I mean, how do y'all feel about it? How do y'all feel about the NIL stuff and all that, and getting a chance to kind of jump in and take some of that, take some of that glory from the other athletes?
We are excited to share that glory. We
Oh,
are so
yeah.
excited. It's almost like, oh my gosh, our time has come.
I know.
Right.
It's kind of like
It's time.
unreal. I think that we never thought that we would get to this point.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's been years of, building your own brand and having to, do it yourself, and to finally, like, be recognized as a team and as a full thing is just crazy.
Absolutely. And I mean, I can't even, like, us athletes, even though it's happening this year, our year, right? Super cool. I can't even take any credit for that. I would be lying if I said that I didn't know that it's the ones that built this before me, that were athletes in
That's
my
huge.
very same shoes before me. Without them and without their advocating for us, we would not be sitting right here doing a podcast, getting to tell you about all this stuff, let alone be getting to work alongside Fan Inc. and get all of these cheerleaders and dancers onboarded.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
So this is why I have Ben here, because Ben kind of makes sure, because I'm just kind of like, woohoo, let's go everywhere, right?
Yeah,
And to kind of solidify and circle back on that.
Right.
Fan Inc. has made it super simple. And not only does it make it super simple, like y'all ladies had just, spoke about, it's opened the doors to being able to represent your names as cheerleaders, as Pom Squad, and be able to use your name, use your social media to do just as well as student athletes as well. So I highly recommend everybody go out, download the Fan Inc. app.
Definitely.
See what it's about. It is super simple. As a fan, I mean, how quick is the process to get self on board as a fan?
Maybe 10 minutes.
Maybe 10 minutes.
On a fan.
On a fan.
Yeah, minutes.
And that's what I said,
Yeah,
minutes.
minutes.
Now, when it comes to an athlete, of course, it's a little bit longer.
Yeah,
but
we're banking the athlete. So the athlete on boards, they get a bank account. And so we make sure their profile's polished before we release it. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's an awesome process. And there's a lot of financial literacy built into it, too. There's tax reporting. There's all this cool stuff. So we're super excited. Why don't y'all shout out y'all socials real quick?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. So you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Brenley Herrera, just my name. Pretty easy.
you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and friend me on Facebook if you want at Libby Ragsdale 10.
There you go.
Awesome.
We will have those below somewhere down here
In the description.
In the description.
For sure. Yep.
Oh, also,
yeah, go ahead.
don't forget to check out our Fan Inc. profiles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have those
Check it
profiles
out.
too,
There
for
you
sure.
go. But no, so our next podcast, we'll kind of get that scheduled up right now. We're kind of we have some good ideas. We don't know what it is yet, but we actually have some good planning on that as well. So thank you. You're going to come peek in one day and just like say, hi.
Yes. Get up here.
Yeah, why don't we do it right now? Because you set all this up. Come
Yeah.
on, come say hello. So this wonderful lady sets and makes sure everything is flowing, okay? This is the backbone of the company. This is Brenna. Brenna, say hello to America. Again, thanks, Big. Appreciate you for all your help.
Always,
Ladies,
always.
thank you for such an amazing podcast. Again, I'm gonna bring y'all back on. We are gonna have an
Please.
episode
Yes.
X, okay? We'll just
We would
call
love
it
that.
X.
Yes.
Because I looked at my questions. I was like, there's so much I didn't get to ask.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
For sure.
you guys did a great job. So
Thank you.
we'll go ahead and sign off.
It's all part of the game.